It should be on YouTube too. I'm not going to check. Can't be bothered. Right. So, welcome to Shooting a Shit episode 255. I think it's 255. And yeah, I, there's a lot been doing happenings. There's Zeus. I'll just drag him in. There you go.
Alright.
There you go. He's in. Right.
Hey
You're a
guys.
bit. He's a bit loud. You'll sort it out. So
I can adjust on my end. Give me a second. I'll just.
Yeah, cool. That's too low.
Better?
There you go. That's about right. I think.
Okay, leave it there then.
Yeah. Right. So, anyway, I was panicking earlier today. So I got an email saying that the VPS radio machine that we use is gonna. Basically, it was old hardware and they're wanting red, and we need to upgrade to the newest stuff, and it's going to cost more than it is, but we get like benefit a wee bit of like 6 months free. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, now I need to set up all the shit, and I'm all confused because I lost everything. Like, because I had to reinstall Windows because my hard drive died. I had no backup, so I've lost everything and how to set it up. So I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Now I'm going to have to find out how you do the backup and how you do this and figure all the passwords out and everything. But I've managed to do that with a bit of help from Dewis, because he reminded me of what software I need, because I was like, what the fuck? And then he just said, oh, this one, what was it, command line interface, that was it. And then it went, oh yeah, my brain just twigged, and I went, oh yeah. Now,
Well, there are many ways to skin a cat, as they say.
There
Or
is,
indeed, to get a cat set up with with being able to access a Unix server and then
Yeah.
get stuff off it.
Yeah, I knew that it's possible. I just lost all the information on how to do it because I'm an idiot and I didn't back it up. So
Actually, at this point, I'll mention these days what I've done is you're probably not familiar with Get, and possibly people out. Anyone who's a programmer these days would know about Gets. It's source control. I've actually started storing my local stuff on Gets, just for the purpose of really seeing what stuff has changed, because you can keep. Because that's basically what it's there for. That's what source control is there for, seeing what stuff you've updated and being able to store it and say, oh, this is like version X or whatever. I use that at work a bit because I got servers to put it on. I don't know if I would put it on GitHub, because I think GitHub's public, although it's there.
Mhm.
Probably I need to find something else. But I thought, yeah, this is using something like that. It's probably the best way to have like all your important documents and stuff, because there's lots of stuff, like all the biggest stuff I've got is like games off Steam or GOG or whatever.
Yeah, no, I've got them.
And,
Okay,
like,
so I have all them on different hard drives,
Yeah.
right? And that wasn't the hard drive that failed. It was the Windows hard drive with all my little bits of shit that just pile up over the years.
I
And
mean,
then you
probably-
forget to back that stuff up. And then when the
I mean,
hard drive just
probably-
died on me, I had no warning. It just fucking collapsed, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I mean, probably for that sort of thing, like OneDrive is probably adequate. I don't know how much storage OneDrive actually gives you, but if you are able to like just take your most important files or your config files, you can certainly set up scripts to just say, I will just today I'm going to commit all
actually-
the things that have changed and push it up, and
it
then
actually-
it's all there. You don't even have to think about it anymore.
It actually does that all the time. Like, now that I've got it, I reinstalled Windows 10, and Windows 10 automatically just gives you OneDrive, and everything you put on your desktop automatically
Yeah.
gets uploaded.
That's what you want.
So that's kind of does it, but it's just at that point, because all the wee bits of software that you need to access all this stuff was on the Windows drive, because obviously you want it on your Windows drive. Because the Windows drive failed, I lost everything. And I was like, oh, and it's took me. I'm still can't remember the login password for Patreon or the fucking email address. So that's why that's not been updated.
It's always. I mean, downloading software again, as long as you know what it is, that's what it's all about. Like,
Yeah.
you have a document for that, and then that's what gets synced. And then, as long as I've gone through this before, so I've learned from experience in a similar way. This is what I do now. I keep a
Yeah.
document. This is like everything I've got, passwords and all that shit. I mean, it's not one of those secure ones that they advertise on fucking YouTube, like sponsorship all the time or whatever.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not intending to share it on the internet. This is it's just something like if I had to restore, it's going to be a lot quicker. I mean,
Yeah.
I've gone through this before, but yes, it is fucking annoying to say the
Yeah.
least.
I learned the hard. Basically, I've now learned the hard way. Put it that
Everyone
way.
does. I'm pretty sure everybody fucking does, to be honest.
Yeah, and I should know that I should back up stuff, but it just never. It just. I was like, oh yeah, usually you get a warning if your hard drive's going to fail, but this one was an SSD. That's another tip. SSDs just fail. They don't give you the wee warning that mechanical drives do. They just one day you'll wake up, press the power button, and it just won't boot. It'll not be in the BIOS. It'll not be anywhere. It's just gone. So, fuck you SSDs, you pieces of shit. They're fast.
How long have you had it for?
Oh, I didn't have it that long. I had it like 3-4 years.
I mean, I've got well, I'm on my laptop, but that's got like 2 SSDs,
Yeah.
and this is like 7 years old now or so.
Mm.
So that's going all right.
Yeah, no, it's just random. It's just random, I think, because I looked it up. It was like, and it's just random. SSDs can last long or they can last short. It just really depends. It depends on how much information and shit you're putting back and forth to them, because they've got a redundancy built in, and they don't actually store information like the old hard drives. Like, you can't erase the information, really. Like, you can't overwrite information. It's already there, if that makes sense.
Well, all the biggest stuff I have is on my second SSD. That's basically all the games, because the whole point of SSD is it's supposed to be considerably faster than your spinny disk.
Yeah.
So I basically have all my documents on spinny disks. I have all my games on the second SSD, and I have my Windows stuff on the primary SSD.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's. I always
Should be
planned
okay.
it this way. It's like basically you want your OS on the SSD.
Yeah.
You want anything that you want to perform faster than an SSD,
Yeah.
but I want to keep them separate. So
Yeah.
for that purpose, basically, it's like, well, it does make you wonder what the fuck I'd actually have to do though to get Windows restored if SSD did fail though.
No, I just honestly, I woke up one day, and I pressed the power button, and Windows just started booting up, and then it just blue screened. I was like, what the? So I'm like trying to diagnose it, and as I'm trying to diagnose it, messing about with the BIOS settings, seeing if it was coming up. It popped up in the BIOS. I was messing about, trying to troubleshoot, see what was wrong. Put in the Windows disk. Oh, I'll see if I can recover Windows. Boots up. Windows doesn't see the hard drive. Windows doesn't, well, the SSD. I was like, what the hell? Back into the BIOS. BIOS stopped seeing the SSD. It just, like that, it just gone.
Yes.
I was like, holy shit, I've never seen this before. Like, I've seen hard drives fail, but usually they give you like a wee. Windows used to come up and say, by the way, your drive's on its way out, with the mechanical ones. But with an
last
SSD,
time I had a hard drive failure, that was on a 286 PS2 about 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
Well, longer than that's probably about 25 years ago that fucking happened. So that's a long fucking time.
Well, I'm telling you, an SSD just fucking fails. It's just gone. Bang.
Well, that is a fucking annoyance to say the least.
Yeah, they're really fast and stuff. They're really fast and stuff, but if that's what they're going to do, and you don't know when, it could be at any point.
it's probably just as well I got a fuckload of Linux CDs I've burnt. Like, so if I ever needed the booting from CD-ROMs or Blu-ray,
Yeah.
indeed, like, is entirely. I mean, that's what you need. You're kind of fucked otherwise.
Actually,
You
no, I'm
can't even get
lying.
on.
No, I'm lying. I didn't press the power button.
Hmm.
I was on Windows. I remember it now. I was on Windows, and I unzipped a big file, unzipping a
Yeah.
game, right? Unzipping a game on the desktop to move it to the other hard drive, and it just crashed
That
on me.
probably. Yeah.
It just
You,
crashed on me. So I thought, okay, I'll press the power button, put put the power button back on. That's where all the shit started happening. I was like, holy shit, the hard drive's completely fucked. So
I've never had a hard drive die.
but you don't
you're
need to,
lucky then, fish.
yeah, yeah,
I've never had that. My computer, because I just got like a new one. I said right,
mhm,
and so, with like new different bits in it and stuff, because my boyfriend did it all for me, so I have no idea what's inside of it. But anyways,
I've got a
my
slight
computer before
idea.
that I had for like 10 years, and my one before that I had for I had it for like maybe I can't remember. I think I had it for like maybe 3 years or something. But I remember that computer died. It wasn't the hard drive. I think what happened is because a lightning bolt had hit our building,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
it actually like shocked me a little. Um, it did because I had like headphones in, okay, on, but my one part of my headphone had fallen off and I couldn't find it. Okay, so there was like metal exposed, and I'm like, fudge it. I'm just gonna.
You're a
I
fucking
want to
lightning
listen to
rod.
this. I wanted to listen to this thing anyways, right? And it'd
Don't
probably
use
been like that.
electronics without insulation, kids. That's the lesson.
Yeah. So it shocked my ear.
especially cheap, especially cheap shitty headphones from China. Just saying.
And then so it shocked my ear, okay? And which means it had to have gone through my computer,
It had to,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so like a week later, my computer just crapped out, and I think it had something to do with that lightning bolt
Oh yeah,
that
definitely.
hit the building. But what was really lucky is that my
You
warranty would have gone out in 2 weeks or something.
right?
Just a couple more weeks and my warranty would have gone out. And so I took it in, and then I got that computer that I had for like 10 years.
Mm. That was lucky. I
Yeah, I think
bet I bet because you had your headphones, you actually saved your own computer by getting electric shock because you grounded it. So the computer
Basically, yeah.
probably got saved, and that's why it lasted an extra week.
yeah, maybe.
'Cause you
Yeah.
fucking
I
grounded
just
it.
feel like it had something to do with that.
Yeah, you
It
grounded
even
it.
Yeah, basically, those delicate little silicon chips, they don't really play well with static electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you didn't have the headphones on and you didn't ground it, your computer would have been fried and you wouldn't have even got back into it. So you sort of saved the computer for a week, and until
There you go.
the whole shock went through it, and it must have hit something obviously inside it.
I think so.
But because
That's
you
how.
grounded most of the hit, your head, your ear took most of the hit. So the wee electronic components were like, oh, I'm okay.
See, most people do actually survive, like getting struck by lightning. The people who die
Mm.
from lightning strikes are those who are like next to a tree that sets on fire or some shit like that because they went under a tree. And that's what I always remember about, like, if you're out in a lightning storm, what you want to do is basically
Get
lay
under a
down.
tree.
Yeah, lay down on the ground, and then you're not really any more attractive to
To
as
anything,
one
yeah.
place to anything else. If you stand up, basically you're now a lightning rod. You're closer than the rest of the ground around you,
Yeah.
and you're slightly more conductive. So you just get on the ground, is the advice.
And never
I
get under
recall.
a tree. Never get
Never
under
get
a
under
tree.
a fucking tree. Yeah, that's a bad
I've
fucking
always
idea.
been taught not to go under a tree if there's lightning.
Yeah.
People do that shit though. They're fucking idiots.
Because they're trying to get
I've
shelter
been
from
taught
the
that,
rain.
and I've been taught like
Basically, yeah.
during a tornado, you don't go in. Excuse me, you don't go in the tunnels either. You go lie in a ditch. Go lie in the ditch.
Yeah, because it can skip over you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause
You're much
it's
safer.
ditch.
You're much safer lying in a ditch in the side of the road.
Anyway,
But some people still escape into like the tunnel and stuff, but then that just creates this wind thing.
Basically,
Right.
it's a wind tunnel.
Yeah.
There's only one way for it to go, and you're just gonna get. It's
Fucked.
like it's just that's the sort of basic fluid dynamics, because it is like fluid dynamics. Is you push a certain, you got a certain volume to go through a smaller container. Obviously, I mean, it's just like, actually, I'm very used to that work because I'm working in all these tall buildings, and you like go along, and it's like the wind definitely comes
just
through
goes through.
stronger
Yeah.
because it has to be funneled through.
Yeah, it's like the streets
so
in
it's
New
the
York,
same
how
thing.
they're straight.
Yeah.
In
It's a
Edinburgh,
funnel.
Princes
How
Street,
many-
the street's straight, but the ones
How many tornadoes do you guys get?
further
Like,
up, we
every-
don't. Just like wind.
Not really. The most powerful storm I remember was when I was about 7. What was that, 1987? That's quite a well-known one. That was like one of the most powerful ones. We don't really get high force, like true massive, like Pacific Ocean or Atlantic Ocean
I was, like,
hurricanes. We're
wondering
just
if
in the
I've
wrong
never-
place.
I don't know about your guys' stuff really because, like, you know, I don't live over there. But I was like, I don't think I've ever heard of like big tornadoes over in like Britain.
No, we don't get them.
I mean,
We don't get them.
Okay.
well, we get a lot of them. They're just not of the same magnitude at all.
Mm.
So it's not a problem. It's not like we don't get massive twisters that like yank up buildings and shit. We get
Oh, we get
small,
those.
there are small ones, very small ones that happen all the time, and you don't even notice them basically because they're just completely inconsequential.
We
just
get
like
gale
we
force winds. We get gale
Well,
force
exactly,
winds,
we
which are about 70, 80 mile an hour winds.
We have
Basically,
in
we
America.
are on the wrong
we have
side
this,
of Atlantic to get them, basically, which is a good thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, fuck
We
that.
have this in America. We have this huge area, right, that like kind of goes through the country,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's just
the
called
Tornado
Tornado
Valley.
Alley.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah.
what we call it, and then we live there, and
Yeah,
I've lived there.
Yeah, good idea,
So you
lads.
learn-
Hey, there's this place called the Tornado Valley. We should live there, right? And it's like, yeah.
It's Tornado Alley, like an alleyway, because it's like
Whatever.
a strip.
It doesn't matter.
It's like-
Valley, alley, same
strip
fucking
of
thing.
land. And tornadoes happen there a lot more, and you'll get like really huge ones. And I remember one time, and this happened during a birthday.
It's like
okay?
living in California and complaining about earthquakes and the fact that you might get a tsunami coming up. It's like,
Yeah. Well, I've never heard any. Well, I don't know. But anyway, so
well,
I
I
lived there
remember
one
when I
time.
was in California, I saw you go down the Pacific One, there are like
Mhm.
tsunami warning, like go for higher ground. It's like, well, thanks for that information. I didn't think about getting away from the water if it's gonna fucking come up and sort of consume
you
everything.
never know. They're stupid people. They need the warning.
I mean, that is true. I mean, have you seen Twitter?
You would hope if you saw a fucking wall of water coming out that's like 100 meters high, you get the fuck out of the way.
I think by the time
Anyway,
you see it, you're fucked.
Probably.
There was only one time though that like I saw like a tornado like close, and it was on my birthday, and it was when I was a little girl.
Happy
And
birthday.
of course, we're like Southern Americans, so we like there's no fear. And so it was on my birthday, and there was like a birthday party. Okay?
So what you're saying is,
in my
wait,
house.
a tornado problem.
And
though.
so when there's
Wait.
a tornado warning and the warning goes off, everybody goes out onto the porch to look.
oh, brilliant! That's a great idea.
That's what you do because I don't know, you look to see where it's at, I guess.
Well,
But I was
that's
able
what
to
you do
poke
because
my
you're
little-
retarded. I'm sorry.
No.
So there's a tornado coming, guys. Oh
The
yes, let's
adults
go
always
watch it.
go- The adults always go out on the porch and they put their hands on their hips to see if they can gauge how far away the tornado is. I guess I don't know. But anyways, as a little kid, I was able to poke my head out, and then the tornado was just down the street. Actually, it was just right there. It didn't get our house, but like after everyone saw that it was like right there, of course everybody went down into the basement, and they left my toys upstairs, and I was
Bastards.
very concerned about that. My mom likes to bring that up. She's like, "You were much more concerned about your toys upstairs than you were about any of us." And then I
Of
told her,
course.
I was like, "Well, you guys were all down in the basement. My
Yeah,
toys were upstairs."
exactly. I'd be
No,
more
what-
panicked about my PC than anything else. I'd be like, oh shit, I'm not leaving this
True.
shit.
That's
Just taking
basically-
everything apart
I mean-
and running down the
Well,
basement with the PC.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why basements are so common in your area of the world. We basically don't have basements in this
No,
country, pretty
we
much.
have attics.
Well, I mean, yeah, we all have
well,
attics, but
basements are
you
nice.
do get places with basements, but it's very uncommon.
Yeah.
Basements are nice because it's like you can have like a whole other house down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do.
Yeah, well, no, the old, like a lot of the houses and stuff in like George Street and not Princess Street, because Princess Street's like not that. It's weird. Edinburgh's weird, but in George Street, they do have like bits of basements and stuff, and most of
The
them are
older
like
ones,
clubs.
presumably.
Well, okay. So Edinburgh is weird because they just built over the plague. Like, so you had. Oh, you've been right. So
Yeah,
do,
I'd be.
well, do you know how like Princess Street, George Street, are all like sort of like a New York type layout? So you've got like, it's a
Yeah,
grid
it's a bit
layout.
more square.
It's a square layout,
Yes.
right? So you've got blocks. But if you go further up towards the castle, it's just
It's the
like
older place.
it's the
Yeah.
older place and it's all over the place. There is no grid. It's just fucking everywhere, right? So
It's just how people built. It's like,
yeah,
I'll have a road here. Yes, but
Yeah.
we'll just have to build around it.
yeah. Basically, so you can tell if you look at the map, you can tell
It's
what's
because
the
the
new.
Romans never got up to that part. That's why they
Right.
couldn't do the Roman straight roads.
So if you look at a map of Edinburgh, you can actually see the grid layout, and then if you move further up, you can see the way it was supposed to be or the way it would be. But what happened
Just a
was,
complete fucking mess.
yeah. So what happened was, it was always a complete mess. It's just the plague came, and they thought, right lads, fuck this. We'll just build over the top of them. So you can't. That's why we don't have an underground, because under there's a whole fucking city under there. So you
I had
can't.
no idea. That is fascinating.
I've told you this before,
I don't remember.
right? So there's a whole city underneath Princess Street, a whole Edinburgh that no one. They have tours and stuff in certain bits. You can still go in and see it all.
What I do remember is how fucking steep it was walking up and down it.
Yeah, but that's because that gets you up to the castle. That's the old bit,
Yeah.
right? The new bit it was just basically it's all plague, man. Fuck 'em. We'll just build over the top. and they had actual people.
Well, to be fair, would you
Under
want
there.
to deal with the plague or just fucking just put like Saul over the top of it?
I mean, that's basically what they did. They just feck it, lads. So just build over the top of these fuckers. So that's why Edinburgh doesn't have an underground. If you go to Glasgow, Glasgow has an underground, but it's like, oh, I don't know what you would call it. Sacrilege to, like, if you went under there, it would be kind of. Do you know what I mean? Kind of
It's-
dodgy.
Well, there's was it disturbing the dead, isn't it?
Mm.
It's like there's a taboo about
So
that
there's
sort
like-
of thing. It's like yeah.
Yeah, so there's a kind of taboo. It's like, nah, we can't have an underground in Edinburgh city centre because you're like
You don't
digging
really
up
need one.
fake-
You don't really need one. I mean, walking about is I found that perfectly fine. I mean,
Mm,
obviously once you get out the real city centre, it's like obviously there's a lot more
yeah,
to do. But I think getting around the city itself, I didn't find a
it's
problem.
not too bad. Yeah, but that's because they blocked all cars now. There's no cars. They've also got trams now, which are fucking useless. Anyway, we should get on to something. before I just
yeah,
have a
we
rant about this shit because it's fucking annoys. It annoys me. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, there's a lot of history in fucking Edinburgh. I should have took you out more to do this, man. I'm just not that type of guy, though.
There's a lot of history all over these isles, unlike the
Yeah.
American.
I know.
They
Well,
got
it's
no
easy.
history.
It's easier for Days to like visit you, and you can show him. He has to go. He has to come a lot farther to try to visit me,
That is true.
which he should do. Anyways.
There's fuck all in Ohio.
He's already been there.
Yeah, but
I've
he could
seen
come-
everything that's worthwhile seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
but,
not
like,
seen
I'm
half of
here.
Edinburgh yet. He's seen all your
No.
shitty homes. He's seen most of America, because once you see a bit of it, you've seen it all, because it's all the same.
What are you talking about? All of Europe's the same. America's huge, and there's a bunch of different parts.
We have
It's
history.
way different.
We have history. You have, like, cowboys and killing Indians.
Which
That's
reminds me, I've got to go to Texas at some point.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that would
god,
be fun.
yes.
Anyway,
You,
like,
if you ever go to Texas, Days, if you ever go to Texas, right, you should let me know with enough time to save up some plane money or something, and I will also go to Texas, and we'll meet up there because I
Very
fucking
well.
love Texas, and I have family there and stuff.
Well, there you go. Perfect. Sorted.
right, get your...
You have to you have to
Thingy-
tell me in advance though, because I'd have to save up
I
plane
can
money.
do that. Okay. Stop worrying.
Get your
This is
article out,
not
come on.
happening anytime soon. Yes. Get
Come
on
on.
some fucking current events or whatever.
Is it gaming events? Because there is a big
Does it
event.
have to be?
I do.
I guess that
I
is the
do-
point.
I do have two.
it's a
gaming
gaming show.
articles.
Usually,
I mean, I could speak
usually-
about the ancient games that I'm playing currently.
Yeah.
Games from 30 years ago.
no one cares.
Which is what everyone wants to hear.
Okay. So the usual way the show works is we talk about games first, and then we go into something else. That's kind of the basis
Talk then.
of the thing. That's what I'm God damn it. Right, give me your articles, because it's your article, so you go. Because we do hers first, because she has to she has to disappear, like, now. Don't you?
Well, one of my articles is super short, so let's do that, and then
Do
I'll
that.
go.
Right.
Okay. It's just super short. I just think it's kind of interesting. It was
Okay,
about
this
Luigi's
is-
Mansion, so I wanted to talk about Luigi's Mansion a bit.
I have no idea what...
It's okay,
Well,
I
I
played
do know
it.
what it is, but... Right, Luigi's Mansion. Right, I got it on the screen. Go.
Okay, so this is President of Nintendo compares sales of Luigi's Mansion 3 to previous entry on the 3DS. I never played the previous entry on the 3DS because I did not want that. I wanted a console game. So I played the first one, and they're like, oh, we got this one. And I was like, no, thanks.
They're
Give
both
me a
console
console one.
games.
Not the 3DS one.
The
but the
3DS is a
Luigi's Mansion
console.
3.
How is it? They're all consoles.
They're
It
all
was
They're
handheld.
consoles.
Sorry, handheld console. I didn't want it on a handheld. I should
There you
have. Sorry,
go.
I should have specified. I did not want it on a handheld and a tiny screen. No,
No.
I wanted it I wanted it on my TV. So, anyways, Luigi
just
Mansion
get a
3
magnifying glass, isn't it?
gave it to me on the TV, so I played that. So, Luigi Mansion, like the first one, was so flippin' fun though. It was such a good game. All right,
Okay.
so we know Luigi's Mansion 3 has done tremendously well on the Switch. It's won awards, set new sales records, and was highly praised by fans and critics alike. It was amazing. And you could pet the dog. Okay, to add to this, Nintendo has now confirmed the total sale through of this game in Japan, North America, and Europe has exceeded 4 million units in just 9 weeks.
That's quite a whole
All
lot.
up, yeah, it is. All up, it's sold more than 5 million units to date. At Nintendo's recent 9-month financial results briefing, company president, Japanese name, compared its sales to the previous entry in the series of the 3DS
I think that
game.
would be Shintaro Furuka.
I know. I was like, I'm not going to
Shintaro,
attempt that.
it's definitely Shintaro.
Furukakaka.
No, there's not two
Fucker.
Ks.
Fuckara.
Fucker.
Fuckara, yeah. Yeah, fuckara.
Mr. Otaru fucker.
So compared to the sell-through of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, released in March 2013, it is off to more than twice as fast of a start during the same time period. That's because you released it on a handheld console instead of the non-handheld console like you should have. Anyways, its momentum of sell-through is particularly stronger in North America and Europe. The ratio of overseas sales has been high for this title. He also noted how people in their 20s were the main consumer of Luigi's third outing.
Of course they are.
Immediately
That's
after-
when the first one came out. Okay.
Immediately after its release, and said how children and families joined in on the fun around the holiday period. Okay, so we bought this game before Christmas because like I was freaking, it was out and I was flipping out and I wanted to play it, and it was like one of those things where like there's a game out and you really want to play it, but Christmas is coming up and you're like, should I spend money on this because I have Christmas stuff? And then I spent money on it anyways. Because like I had to have it. Okay, I even asked my boyfriend. I was like, you know, to show that I was like considering his opinion, but I think
you weren't. So you faked it. You were like, yeah, I know I'm considering your opinion. I think we should talk about this. But by the way, we're definitely getting Luigi's Mansion 3.
You're
that's
definitely
what
a woman.
it was.
It confirmed she is definitely a woman.
Yeah. It's like I know.
Yes,
I
dear,
know you
I will
don't.
listen to your opinions, but
Yeah.
in the end, you will accept that I'm correct.
Yeah. It's like
That's how it was gonna be.
I had already made the decision, but I thought I'd ask you just because. It's like,
That's
Women, what's the
basically
point?
what it was.
it's like, women, what's
Well,
the point?
I wanted to like sweet talk him into it a bit because I wanted him
Right.
to play with, because it was 2-player, and so we played together, and it is honestly it is
so-
a lot of fun.
Oh, I know what happened. Like, I've got this conversation in my head now. It was like, I know it's coming up for Christmas, but there's this game, the Luigi's Mansion 3, that's coming out, and I think we should get it. And he's like, And it's like, oh, it's 2-player and we can play it together. And he's just like, yeah, okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
At first
Like,
at first he was like, oh, let's wait and think
Yeah.
about it.
Obviously.
And so
So it's like,
then,
it's 2-player
like-
though. It's 2-player though. Look at this. And you got the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like, look how awesome it is.
Well, I
Like,
waited
yeah.
waited a week. I waited a
You
week.
said, look at this, here's the game, I've
Yeah.
already got it.
Yeah.
No, I waited a week and I was like, okay, I waited a week and I really want this game, so let's get it. And then I bought
Yeah.
the game.
Exactly. There was no point in asking him at all. The decision was already bloody made. It was like he had no hope in hell of like saying no. It was just done. I bet he knows that too. He just lets you away with it. It's like
Probably
women.
knew it was happening. Kind of
Yeah.
like with the cat. Like, remember when I got the cat and I was like,
Yeah.
so here's this cat and,
I knew.
you know, we don't have to keep it.
Yeah, no, I seen it.
Do
Okay,
have to keep a cat.
okay, no, I seen this on her face live on the webcam. I've said this, right? I seen it. She was like, "Oh, look, it's got wee thorns in it. I'm going to give it a bath. I'm going," and it just came up to her little finger and it licked it. And I seen that and I thought, and her face just instant love. I was like, "So you're going to keep?" Because I seen it and I went, "You going to keep it?" And she's like, "Ah, I don't know. I'm going to have to ask my boyfriend." And I went, "I don't think he's going to have a choice."
Correct.
It was kind of
Instantly.
like a similar conversation
Yeah.
to the Luigi's
It's a
Mansion
fucking
thing.
it's the cutest fucking cat, and
But the
yeah,
thing
there's
is,
no,
women
there's
think,
no argument there.
okay, but women think that they've got us wrapped around our little finger. We know what they're up to. We just let them away with it sometimes.
And they're correct.
Well, nah. There's some things I have to put my foot down.
Anyways, I do highly recommend people buying the Luigi's Mansion game because it is a ton of fun. And like they're like the main ghosts are a lot of fun. My favorite one was this director ghost that like did movies. And his thing, you actually didn't suck him up and collect him into your thing. He was like the only one. Because
Right.
he just wanted you to participate in making one of his movies in which you fought this Godzilla looking thing. And I was like, there was like these tiny little buildings and everything. And I was like, I like absolutely love this because you fought this Godzilla creature that was actually like Ghost dressed up as this Godzilla creature.
Well, it is
And
a
this
Japanese game. I
tiny
suppose
city that
Godzilla
you
has to turn up.
like could suck up different parts of the city in your like little vacuum hose and everything and stomp around it like a big giant person. I thought that was hilarious for a Japanese game to add that in.
See, they know their own culture. They're like, yeah, that's Godzilla's ours, and if put in something, everyone's going to
Yeah.
recognize it.
Yeah, everyone's gonna know that this is a Godzilla reference.
Yeah.
It was great.
Right. So, if you
I'll go
get
ahead
your
and
food-
you guys can talk about your stuff. I have one more article that we can do like when I get back maybe. It's
okay,
like
I'm going to
another
put
like yeah.
all of mine in the thing.
And
Hold
I'll
on.
go eat.
Yeah. So you might. There we go. Right, so I've got that one. I've got this one. Where am I? Let's just throw away ones because I've been, as I said, I've been busy with the VPS piece of shit thing that annoys me. I was so annoyed with that today. That's Luigi's Mansion. So I'm here. So there's the ones that we've got. So what one do you want to start with?
Well, we'll go with the second one first because I'm
We've
mentioning
also got
Doom
this-
Eternal, and I'm actually
that one.
because I liked the Doom game, the new Doom game, and obviously all the other previous Doom games. Although I haven't completed 3 yet, although it's not as good. I think the last Doom one was a very entertaining game. So if they do the same with Doom Eternal, I'd be
Oh,
more
they're
than
doing
happy to
better.
get some of that. Yeah.
They're doing better. They've got like the double-barreled shotguns being reworked, and it's got like a hook on it as well, so you can hook the bastards and then blow their heads off with the double barrel.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, the game looks, it's different. There's people. I've seen other things. The UI's different. It's supposed to be the people that have played it seemingly are saying that it's the future of FPS games because it's different. They've put a lot of work in it seemingly, and it doesn't play like the Doom 2016.
2016. Yeah.
It does a bit, but not quite. They've refined they've added stuff, and they're saying that this might be the future of FPS games.
Well, what does that mean? The fuck does that mean?
Like the new way that this stuff works.
How many different ways can you fucking
No,
shoot?
yeah, no, but that's the thing. They've it's not just shooty bang bang anymore. It's like you've got different weapons that do different things
Yeah,
to
but that's
different. Like no, but it's more strategy, right? So
right, but it's not like it's not like that sort of thing hasn't occurred in the past. I mean, there's already
no,
every
but this is more so though, right? So you've got, say, I don't know, the fuckers with the shield, right? So your normal bullet weapons won't go through the shield, so you need to use your
yeah. So you use an energy weapon.
Yeah, energy
right,
weapon to get
this
through,
is not
and
a
then
new
just-
thing.
yeah, but seemingly like
It might
usually
be
in
well refined, but that doesn't mean it's a new. I
no,
mean,
it's
there's-
not okay.
Not that I'm saying that's a bad thing. I'm refining an idea that already exists into a finely crafted bit of mahogany.
That's what they're saying.
Which is great, but that doesn't mean it's a revolution. That means
No.
it's a refinement. It's like
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
but
a
what?
Renaissance.
Yeah,
The Renaissance
what-
had new things, but it also refined old things
Yeah.
to their to perfect state.
but
There's
at
a
this
difference,
point,
and
right?
Because I don't
I-
like the hyperbole. It annoys me because it implies that it
I know, I
is
understand.
completely novel and it forgets the older stuff that came before. and I don't like that.
Okay.
Being an old fart who's played a lot of fucking shit.
No, I
I'm like,
understand.
I remember that.
Right? No, but some of the ones that have done it didn't do it right, and seemingly this one does.
Well, there you go.
And it's much better.
That's like remaking a film. They never remake a good one, a bad one. They that it like had good ideas into a good film. They always say,
Right.
"Oh, this is a good film, and we'll remake that, but it's a shit version." So it's the opposite. Basically, interesting fact that actually you would expect that mostly from games. That
But they've
obviously
not done it though. Like
sometimes
Call of Duty's been I think what they mean is like Call of Duty's been the same. It's
Well,
it's
of
been the
course it
same
has
for like
been the
30
same.
years,
Of course
right?
Of course it
And-
has. Of course
and
it
this
has,
other
'cause
one-
it's got a very specific audience who don't want anything to change. They fucking know that.
So is Doom, to be fair.
Well,
I
not
don't
really.
want
I mean,
much.
you've got to remember-
I don't want much to change in Doom because I love
Right,
the
but, I mean-
2016 one.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's what I say. But Doom is very different. I mean, like you go back to the 90s, right? These
I
are
think-
quite different games to what
Yeah.
most people think of an FPS
Yeah,
today.
a wee bit different.
They're still great. Doom 3, I've been playing on and off.
Yeah.
It's like,
I didn't like it. It was too dark and moody and a bit. Nah.
Well, I remember. Well, even at the time, there's like people saying this is a dark simulator.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah, and
But,
it
I
didn't
mean, it's
run
not
that
like
well.
it's what I as ever idea produce something technologically good, but not necessarily perfectly refined. I always remember in the old days, it was always Raven Software who would come along like
And took the
take-
Doom. Yeah,
they would take like Doom and they make Hexen and Heretic.
yeah.
They took they took the Quake engine and made Hexen 2, which I really love, and I've got that.
Yeah,
in
that
the
was
box.
brilliant.
What else? They've done
It's-
loads of stuff like that,
Hexen-
haven't they?
Hexen was the one that was. It used the Doom engine, but it had all the Egyptian
character
mythology
classes.
and stuff.
Yeah, that was the second. That Hexen 2 had bits of that, and the main thing with the Hexen ones, the original Hexen, which I've been playing through as well, it's quite different because the main thing was they had this massive hub system. So I remember a lot of people probably who played Half-Life for the first time probably think, oh, this is like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't have like loading levels. It's just like it saves for a bit, and then it loads and it's continuous.
Yeah.
But with Hexen, there was this whole hub system. So whereas in Half-Life, there was this massive progression. In Hexen, they had this one level, which is a hub level, that goes off to all these other fucking places, and it
Yeah.
takes forever to figure out what the fuck is going on. But I mean, still, I like the idea. It's Hexen 2 was more straightforward in that sense. Although it had that Egyptian part you're talking about had the most annoying fucking puzzle ever. Mostly
Yes.
because you knew exactly what it was. But you remember that bit where you have to cross over the symbols in the right order, otherwise you get
I've
teleported.
no idea. There's a
You
part.
don't,
Yeah.
you don't remember. There's, you
I
remember
just remember
anyone who's played the
Hexen
game
being.
must remember the bit where you get in Hexen 2 where you get teleported back if you don't walk over this fucking thing. You know, like that scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade where you have to walk over.
Yeah.
Like he has to walk over. He has to spell out the name of
I
Jehovah.
just remember as
It's
soon
like
as
that.
someone says Hexen to me, okay, I just remember, yeah, that was the one full of like Egyptian lore and sort of like Egyptian gods and stuff, and you were fighting the Egyptian gods or something. There's something about Egypt in Hexen. That's all that comes to mind. And I don't
think
know if
that's
it was
more the-
Hexen or Hexen 2. I don't know.
It's a Hexen 2. It's more Hexen. The original Hexen is more very much a medieval aesthetic.
It must have been the second one then, and it was my mate that was actually playing it. Wasn't me. Well, I did have shots of it, but what was it on the Sega Saturn? That's what
Really?
he had. Yeah, he had
Ah.
Hexen on that, and he was playing that, and it was all like Egyptian stuff and other things. If you had, this is the thing. This was what was cool. So it was a port from the PC, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And if you had Hexen 2 and you got Duke Nukem 3D on the Sega Saturn, it would, if you had the two save games on the cartridge, it would open up a game called Death Tank.
That's the most bizarre thing I've heard ever.
Right? okay? And
That's
Death Tank
got,
was
like,
fucking
literally-
amazing. Like,
Literally, you got two games
yeah.
by different publishers who've
No.
got nothing to do with each
No,
other.
they're the same. No, they're the same. They were the same. The guys that converted it over to the console
they
were the same boys.
Yeah, okay,
right?
yeah.
And they thought, oh, we'll put our own wee like game in there.
That's just
if
the
you've got
weirdest thing
two.
ever.
So if you had the two save files, from
Who the
Doom,
was this the-
from
who the fuck would
Duke
find
Nukem
this out?
3D and Hexane, then you got access to another game called Death Tank Zooey. And we used to play that for fucking ages because it was like a 4-player game. So we'd have like, you know how you had the extra pads and stuff?
Yeah.
So we used to have, so his dad, me, and his sister used to always play this fucking game. It was fucking awesome. It was just a silly little tank game where you got, it was like Worms but with tanks, right? So you got.
Have you ever played? There was a game on the PC called Scorched Earth, which was ridiculous. Which is
It's the
basically-
same.
I know exactly
it's
the
the same thing.
The same thing.
It's the
But
same
the main
thing.
thing I always remember about the tanks game on the PC, it's from the 90s, had fairly basic graphics, but it had the most insane weapons ever. It's just like it had
See
this
if I
whole
can-
range of things. I'm sure you can find it. I mean,
Yeah,
yes.
Death Tank Sega Saturn. There we go. Yeah, it's called Death Tank. Let's see.
It does. I mean, yes. That sounds like a good laugh.
Yeah, no, okay, I found it. It's on YouTube. It's on everywhere. Right. Okay, I've got the wiki. Death Tank is a 1996 cooperative multiplayer 2D artillery game developed by Ensor of Lobotomy Software. Yeah, it was Lobotomy. It was Lobotomy Software that converted, that done the conversions of Hexane
Nukem and
and
Hexane.
Duke Nukem. Yeah, that was it. It's influenced by Scorched Earth. The gameplay is real time. It supports 2 to 7 players. The original Death Tank was a hidden bonus game in the Sega Saturn port of Power Slave in 1996. An update, Death Tank Zooey, that's the one I'm talking about, was a hidden version in Duke Nukem 3D. That was it. See, so if you had Duke Nukem 3D and you had Hexane, you got this would pop up. So seemingly there's a Xbox Live version as well. But yeah, that's what I can remember. Duke Nukem 3D, it was hidden, and the way you got it was with if you had Hexane, a Hexane game save, you could access it. Like, it's so bizarre, right? That's so weird, but it's actually a thing that happened. Oh. Yeah, why would you think of that?
It's bizarre.
It is, it's so weird, and it's like, but it's cool. It's like a little Easter egg. Yeah, but we played that game for fucking ages. So I'm looking through this list of the games, right? So the most new
I'm not
exciting
getting
games.
I'm not getting excited about any of these, to be fair.
Final Fantasy Remake, a
Apart
wee
from
bit.
Doom.
Final
basically.
Fantasy Remake. Come on, Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
I remember playing a demo. I mean, it's like fucking select a thing and
Oh, you're gay.
finding the sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's a fine, decent
No.
enough like demo. It never really excited me enough to get the full thing. I'd play it, but
I loved it. No, anyway, this one isn't the selected thing. They've revamped the combat, which I'm a bit disappointed in. They've made it into more action orientated combat.
well, that's the thing. It's like very much like what's it? An
action RPG.
No. There's a game, Anacrox. Oh god, I can't fucking say it. It was made by Ironstorm for the brief period that Ironstorm existed. It wasn't completed.
Holy shit, that
was,
must be ancient.
Yeah, exactly. It's like from the early 2000s. But it was, it's the same sort of idea. You have a bunch of people standing around. You get your turn to shoot. And it's like doing that.
No.
And now, presumably, it's not like that anymore. That's what
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII was like.
Yes.
But the remake presumably isn't going to be like that. Is what I'm
yeah,
saying.
it's more action orientated because that's where all the RPGs are going now. But I loved how you could just like select the menu. You had the menu. You done this, and you made your strategy up, and you had to like figure it out, and you made a strategy up. That's what I liked about it. And now they're taking that away, and they're making it all action orientated. And I don't know. That's the bit I don't like about it. The other bit I don't like about
That's
it.
what the people want. I mean, despite. I mean, I
I
recently.
I
Well,
fucking.
you see, this is the thing.
I fucking don't.
What is it?
Look, that's like saying,
Well,
these guys that enjoyed the fucking 1980s action movies now want these other shitty ones that are shit.
Well, I mean, what I'm just going to say is, obviously, that's what they think is going to work for this. But
Yeah.
I recently decided, fuck it, I'll try out one of these. I'll try out that Hearthstone game from Blizzard because it's like free to play. And that's like one of these card games, like a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh.
Fuck it, yeah, it's
or
shit.
whatever shit. It's fine. It's entertaining for a while, but I mean,
boring.
I mean, it is what it is.
But I hate card games, so I'm not going to.
But I mean, it's kind of, but it's a similar system. It's not about action. I mean, the action as far as it comes in the graphics rather than in the gameplay.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what
No,
the
but I
analogy
liked-
was kind
okay.
of go with.
I just
As
like
far
the
as
RPGs. I like the story. For Final Fantasy VII, I like the story, I like the characters. Gameplay was okay. It wasn't great. It was just like an RPG. I liked the grinder, like you grind and you get better loot
it did
and
have
shit.
random encounters, didn't it?
Yep.
If I remember correctly, which I seem to recall, it had this whole sort of you had a random encounter and you have this whole spinny graphic thing and everything all fucked up.
Yeah. And then it would take you into the battle
I'm
system.
remembering it right. Yes, exactly.
But then, so on top of the random encounters, like there were certain places that you could go to encounter these certain enemies that would drop the certain thing that you'd need to get a better weapon, right? Does that make sense? So then you would grind the shit out of that area to get that bit, and then you go get the better sword, and then you go to that same bit, and the enemies would stop being hard to beat, and they'd be shit. You'd got like one hit. You don't even need to use strategy anymore because your sword would be that.
That's the classic game away, isn't it? You grind away for days on the same plot just to level up.
Right.
I mean, now I can play the rest of the game like it's nothing.
Yeah. But that wasn't what happened though, because you would get to the next part of the game, and then you'd be back to square one again. So you'd need to go and do that shit. But at the same time, the story was so engaging, and you were chasing this fucking arsehole all over the place. And the whole point was he made you fucking angry because he was dick, and he pissed you off so much. You were like, by the end of disc 1, you were like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker, like, because what he did was uncalled for, and he's a fucking asshole. And so basically that was the whole point. That was the inflict. That was it. I'm going to get this fucking boss guy because he fucking done something, and I'm so pissed off. He deserves to die. Like it was a revenge thing, right? At that point, at the start, it was just like, oh, this is an okay game. And then when you start getting into the story and shit, it's like, that motherfucker. Right, that's it. He's fucked. Like that. For me, that's what it was. It's like, as soon as he fucking killed Aerith, I was like, you're fucking dead, mate. That was totally uncalled for, you bastard. So that was my whole revenge plot. It's just, I'm going to grind my fucking arse off to get the best weapons and the best shit to fuck you up.
I think anybody who's listening who doesn't understand why this radio station is called Aerith Radio now does.
Yeah. You know, anyone that's fucking played the game would understand why. Because the motherfucker, that was uncalled for. But at the end of the day, she's the one that saves the whole fucking place anyway. Because her spirit gets thingied into the thing and then it does stuff. She makes it do stuff to beat the thing that the other bastard called down. Anyway, it's all complicated.
Makes perfect sense.
It does. No, it does. Well, in a Jap way, it does. Okay, it does. Anyway, so other reason I'm not looking forward to the remake is because it's in 3 installments of £60.
Ah, well, that sounds like a bargain price.
Yeah.
180 quid.
And the reason for it, right? The reason for it, get this, reason for it is, it's a bigger game than the other one. We've added more stuff. It's like, really? So the 3 discs that I got in 1997, the 3 CDs, you couldn't put them on 3 Blu-rays.
You can put them on one Blu-ray, I'm sure.
Well, not if you update the graphics and stuff, right? I've
Well,
given
it
them.
depends.
I've given them the benefit of the doubt here, right? I'm saying,
you could
okay,
easily put you could put about 15 CDs worth of information on a Blu-ray, easy. Right?
yeah, but they've updated graphics and done it. There's more
But even
FMV.
then,
Everything's
right, this is-
bigger. Everything's bigger,
Even,
right? I'm giving them the benefit of.
but still,
Stay with
180
me, right?
quid. That's a fucking lot.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm saying. No, I'm saying that they're saying that there's a lot more content to justify the price, and I'm saying, but you added that content though. Like, you should just remake the fucking game the way it was, with better graphics and shit. Might take up more data and stuff,
What?
and just sell
What's
it
the
the way
point?
it used to be.
I don't see the point of that either. It's like I don't like. I mean, I get why people have remake. If I want a remake of anything, it would be not so much a remake, but more. Well, actually, the right way to do it.
It
There's
is.
quite. I recently got hold of Flashback, which is a really
Okay.
fucking old game again.
I remember
But
that one.
what they do have for the new version is they have a remake with updated graphics
Yep.
and additional features.
Yep.
But it also has a classic mode which just plays like the original, which
Yeah.
like that's the way to do it, right? You basically it's like if you want the whole retro nostalgia thing, you can go
Well,
for it. If you want to,
I think that's
Yeah.
what they're going to do. I'm not, but again, they've already done that with the PC version. They've updated it so many times. There's a Final Fantasy VII HD on the PC on Steam
see,
right now,
I-
which is
see,
completely
thing,
different.
I'm like the same with movies. I don't like it like what George Lucas did to Star Wars. I really hate mostly because I'd be fine with it if you could get the original versions. In fact,
can't.
I'd love to be able to see all the little changes because to me that's very interesting.
Okay.
But I don't like the idea of like, oh well, we've updated this and you can never get it the way it was again.
Yeah.
And just fuck you.
Yeah. Well, with games, that's never going to happen as long as we've got digital archives, right?
Well, one hopes. I mean, obviously with DRM and stuff. Oh, well, actually, the main
you can crack
the
DRM. So.
Well, you can't. What you can't crack is a multiplayer-only game, which
Yes.
requires other people to be playing it.
Yes.
So, for example, I've been playing a bit of
I'll be
Destiny
back
2
in a minute.
recently.
Oh,
And
have you
obviously-
got that? I'll play with you. You've got to add me because I'm on the moon right now and I need help.
We'll sort it out. Like I need to
I'll go for a
start
pee
really,
anyway.
so
So wait a minute.
you go and have a piss then. I'll speak through some of this stuff that I give a shit about. So forget about Final Fantasy. You got this thing called Dreams. It's by people who made Little Big Planet, which I never played, so I have no fucking idea really whether I should be interested in that or not. It's supposedly going to be very creative. Maybe if you like that sort of thing, I don't know. Never played the Sackboy. I know who he is, just through osmosis. Watch Dogs Legion, another Watch Dogs. I never played any others, so I have no fucking opinion on this really. I'm sure it'll be fine. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Now, this is well, that's a great title, and there is no way you could guess what the fuck it is from that. And what this article's saying is Ori of the Blind Forest, a platform adventure game noted for its swirling, hand-drawn aesthetic, was a surprise hit back on its release in 2015. Inspired by 2D platform adventures like Rayman and Metroid, you play as Ori, a white guardian spirit, accompanied by Scene, the Light and Eyes Spirit Tree. though a fine Nintendo Switch remake came out last year, fans of the series have had to wait 5 long years for a sequel. On March 11th, Ori and the Will o' the Wisp will answer their prayers. Well, good for them, I guess. I have no opinion. Resident Evil 3, I only ever played briefly on people who had PS1s. I guess people like that series.
Okay, I'm
And
back.
This is another remake.
It's
I just
another
go through the-
remake. Yeah. It's
In the
another
Resident
remake.
Evil 3, another remake. I mean, there are no new ideas anyway, so who
I
cares?
know. And then the one below it is like Minecraft.
Well, I mean, whatever. I mean, it's just surely it's fucking Minecraft.
Yeah, but these are meant to be like.
Except for less. It's
Okay.
Minecraft, but not Minecraft, is what they're basically saying. A dungeon crawler game where the player explores randomly generated dungeon, fight, blah blah blah. Well, you're not actually crafting anything, so isn't that kind of
A dungeon
like
crawler.
defeating the whole point of Minecraft? Is that you get to fucking build shit.
But seemingly, these are the most exciting new games coming out in 2020.
Well, Minecraft, fuck's sake.
And there's, oh, that's what I mean. Like half of these games, like they're Final Fantasy, okay, a wee bit, but because their business model and other things, I've got my
Yeah.
doubts. Watch Dogs, I don't care. Ori and the Will
Don't
of the
care
Wisps, don't care. Doom Eternal, yes.
Yes.
Half-Life Alex, probably not.
Well, I was going to
'cause
come back to
most
that.
most of you bastards need a VR headset. I have
this is the
one, but
thing.
I don't know if it's going to be
Right.
worth it.
Every,
Resident
it
Evil
is
3,
like-
no, don't care. Minecraft Dungeons,
Well,
don't care.
Well,
Like-
I have to come back to Half-Life one because obviously it's like that's the big one. Marvel's Avengers, do I give a shit? No,
Yeah.
no, I really don't.
Anyway,
I've-
before we
I've
go
got
on,
I've got the
before we
Lego
go
game.
on,
I'm more than happy with
But-
the fucking Lego game. That's funny
The-
and
the
interesting.
Lego, yeah. Okay, before we
Uh,
go on, we have to say bye to YouTube. I completely forgot. Fuck you, YouTube. Go to arifradio.co.uk. Go to arifradio.co.uk for the rest of the show. We've got an hour left. You lucky little shit's got an extra half hour. YouTube shit, and now I can speak properly without having the YouTube bull crap. So yeah, that's why we get rid of YouTube, because you're only
It's now
allowed-
uncensored.
yeah, basically, because YouTube's even worse now than it used to be. Anyway, right, bye YouTube.